Okay, the Quartermaster. This wiki is not completely up to date as there's an extra talent here, but I'll make note of that a little bit later. Quartermaster is a common ship officer. Um, you can acquire them through a small number of contacts, but as always, you can have an officer promoted up to be a quartermaster. Having at least one of these is recommended on most ships. Their primary skill is Intimidate. They'll get some command and a teeny bit of ship ops, which can help. Actually, they get the same amount of ship ops as they do command in the end. Huh. Didn't know that. All right. Move to the talents. The the quartermaster has a ship ops skill save talent. This is helpful if you don't have enough crew dogs, such as being on a very small ship. You may need to select this one as ship ops failures are nasty. They also have Stern Leader in that they can pass failed command tests. That's a little rarer. Failing command tests isn't a huge deal, but it can be nice to cover for them as they're not the worst, but they're not the best. And it's pretty hard to find classes that early on that will give you this kind of a save. They also have a third talent that is not displayed here that was recently added as an Intimidate save. So they actually have a third talent for saving on those. Intimidate saves are the weakest thing to worry about. They just aren't that dangerous compared to everything else. So I would always prefer one of these two if you're going to be doing that. However, they also have two other really good talents right at rank 1. Perceptive Boss. When paying your crew, your intuition grants a 30% plus command skill, or rather, 30 plus command skill percent, chance to learn a hidden trait from among your crew. This is a really helpful way to get to know your crew so you can know who you want to keep, who you don't want to keep, who is evolving into just being a drunk, and who is evolving into being some kind of crazy ninja. It can be very helpful. Contract Bargain. When landing in a zone, the highest level crew member who attempts to abandon the ship reconsiders, but their salary increases by 2 credits permanently. That salary increase is trivial. It's not a big deal. I have never even batted an eye at it. And having your highest level crew member not leave due to low morale is great. Other ways to reduce desertion are explained in the game's tutorial, of which there is a little bit through the officers. But Contract Bargain is a good thing to get really, really early in the game so that if you just have one person that gets low morale for some event, you don't lose them. And usually it has such a short cooldown of 3 weeks. One of these early on can go a long way. By the end of the game, it's great to have 2 or 3, but one at the beginning is usually fine. All right, rank 5, Rallying Cry. Buff ship with 20% protection against crew and morale damage. That is not correct. You should not say /turn there. I need to submit a typo fix. For next 2 turns. Purges your ship's crew of any crippling effects. That's important. Crippling effects are obnoxious, even if it's the ship's crew, which isn't as big of a deal. And it restores Intimidate skill with a morale to 20 crew. That's a decent amount of Intimidate, or of morale, and it's 20 crew, so it's quite a bit, especially if you're on a smaller ship that's most of your crew. This is a nice way to get rid of crippling effects in ship combat used from any rank, any position. The protection is mitigation, so as your crew takes 100 damage, instead take 80. Same with morale. That's kind of nice. It's just gravy. It's added bonus on top of it. Really, the main features that you want to get rid of these crippling effects and possibly boosting up your morale if it's a little low. Okay, Reliable Hand. When accepting a mission, increases payment by 10 plus Intimidate skill percent. Just a solid way to increase your income. If there weren't other talents that were so compelling, this would be an easy sell, but as it is, it's pretty competitive with all the other talents. Increasing mission payment is a great way to just increase your revenue overall. Calming Speech. This is the best. This is the best mutiny resolving talent in the game. I don't have mutinies when I play, just for my play style, so I don't worry about this. But if you do, this is the best talent for it. Speaking as a leader, but also as a member of the crew, the quartermaster knows what to say. The mutiny ends, and the morale of the entire crew is increased by 20 plus command skill. So they get a large amount of morale recovery, does not require sacrificing a crew member, and has a 13-week cooldown instead of 26, making it in 3 ways the best talent in the game for mutinies. All right, Welcoming Conscription. This is a very strong talent. When conscripting enemy to serve in your crew after a ship victory, New crew member starts with higher morale, meaning they're not deserting on the first planet you drop off on, and does not gain new negative traits. Now, the negative traits aren't always so bad that I'm really worried about them, but they do take up a slot that could be used for some really good trait later on through a mutation. And so that's why this is a really strong talent to recruit powerful uh, personal combatants or crew fighters from enemy ships that you're able to disable. And so getting one of these is pretty crucial by mid game, I think, if you're losing any crew. Call to arms. When encountering a Xenoship in space combat, prevents morale loss and up to intimidate skill number of crew. This is handy if you're facing Xeno once you get to that point. I've run into Xeno as early as year 215, which is 5 years into the game, on impossible difficulty at least. And it's handy to prevent morale loss. You don't want people deserting just due to encounters with Xeno, but I don't consider this a crucial skill or a crucial talent. Second Shadow, very powerful talent. Watching crew like a hawk. Saves a life during ship combat, blockade, spying, patrol, or black market. Crew members restored to hit points equal to command skill plus 3 times your medical rating of onboard medical components. All these on-death talents are really good. Only one of them fires at a time. So if you're in a combat round and you have 2 people die, even if you have two, or have to make their death saves and fail them, even if you have 2 second shadows from 2 different quartermasters or similar classes, only one will fire. That's just how the game works. It's a balancing element. But still, having at least one of these is really good for a similar reason to Contract Bargain. You want to have the odd time when you take a critical hit and one of your crew members just gets one shot in ship combat or something. This is the way to just prevent that from ruining your run. Now, this will not apply to crew combat. So if your crew combat member fails a death save, they're gone. That's it. So keep that in mind. This will not save you from everything. All right, Regimented Order. Buffs ship with 40% protection against crew damage for 2 turns. Purges your ship crew of any crippling effects. This is similar to Rallying Cry, but gives you 40% protection, but only against crew damage, not the morale damage. Does not restore morale. I don't really find this to be a better talent. If you've already selected Rallying Cry, you probably don't need Regimented Order. The morale gain here and morale protection, it's probably just as good as additional protection against crew damage. You don't need both. Choose one or the other. Doesn't make a huge difference with which. I prefer Rallying Cry